Well, it is 10:34 a.m. and I want to welcome all of you guys to our open forum this week. We have a special guest today. I do want to talk to you guys about some housekeeping things. You guys have had our best September ever, and so I wanted to congratulate you guys for that. Appreciate your participation in record numbers as usual, and I just want to congratulate you guys. We have a guest here today from Reminder Media. There's Chris. You'll see him on your screen here shortly. I'm going to make him the host. He's going to talk to you guys. And I wanted to read to you guys what one of our, you guys know Angie. She's in here a lot, Angie Alstott. She wrote me this. She is at the Tom Ferry coaching event in Dallas, so she won't be here today. But, and here's a quote, but I use Reminder Media and I'm very happy with it. Every other month I send it to past clients and my sphere, and the next time to potential seller leads in my farm/neighborhood. Gives me a good reason to call and touch base and ask for referrals. Just started the digital edition, so no feedback yet, but Mandy, who's her friend who we just spoke about, Mandy Berg, has been doing it for a while. Have a good Zoom. Christy Quick also wrote me, another one of our agents wrote me that she's been doing it, she loves it, and that she feels like a celebrity when she does it, but that's beside the point. But she has a family joke that she's a celebrity because they get the magazine with her picture in it. Or she shares it on her Facebook. And so we've had some things, I've heard some great things from those of you who are using it. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris, let him tell you a little bit more about it. Chris, I'm going to make you the host of the meeting. I'll let you introduce yourself and your product.
All right, sounds good. So good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Friel. I'm one of the trainers here with Reminder Media. If you're not familiar with us, we're a marketing company here. We're in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, so we're just on the outskirts of Philadelphia. And I just want to thank all of you for giving me a few minutes of your time this morning. So like I said, Brian said there's many agents that are using us. I know he just named a couple, and then also Bridget Day. I just started work with her personally on Friday. Had a great conversation with her. So if Mandy, Christy, and Bridget are here, I want to thank all of you for the business that you've given. You're given us, and I hope others will see value in this as well. So I'm just going to share my screen, and I'll try to be quick because I know you have an agenda to get to. So name of this webinar, folks, is Stop Missing Opportunities and Start Connecting. Now, real estate, you all know it's a relationship business. So everybody has a database full of contacts, and they're all going to know other people that will buy or sell, whether it is the rest of this year or the next year to come. The biggest challenge for everybody right now, and especially with the year we just had, is how do you stay in front of all these people consistently to capture the referrals that will come from them and then essentially turn them into commission checks. So I talk to 50 to 75 agents a day, and a lot of them out there are not marketing to their past clients and key relationships. They're spending all their time, effort, and most importantly, money, and they advertise their way to every single commission check. So they're going to start over after each transaction instead of nurturing those foundations of trust they have set in place through their past clients and other key relationships in their life. I'm going to show you, my computer froze. So, okay. So I'm going to show you a couple quick slides from NAR. This one shows all the transactions that were done last year. And if you look, you could see that 53% of the buyers and 67% of the sellers, they all found their agent from a referral, or they used an agent they already had a relationship with from the past. If we dive a little bit deeper into those listing transactions and I break it down for you, you're going to see that 41% of people came from referrals. 26% of people, they used agents they already had a relationship with. What I also want you to look at and focus on is right here in the middle, folks. This is your internet website leads. This is Zillow, this is Realtor.com, and other internet website lead generation sources. And it's showing you a combined less than 6% of sellers found their agents from places like this. I think if you sum everything up, the majority of people out there are going to find the homes that they want online, but the agents that they're finding to work with are through referrals and other personal relationships. Now, this next one is going to show you the money, right? They always say, if we want the truth, file the money. You can see that the average agent last year, they made $42,000. They did 11 transactions during the year. 17% came from referrals. 12% came from repeat clients. Now, this next one is going to highlight the top 3% of the country. Anybody that made 150K or over. If you look, almost 60% of their business is coming out of their database. Now, as you walk down in income, you can see that that percentage goes down with it. So there is a direct correlation to the amount of money that you're going to make to the amount of business you are getting out of your database. And I think there's a big gap in between both the numbers because where agents put their money nowadays. Now, if you look here in the gray, nobody can argue any of this stuff with you. You need all this stuff to operate: business expenses, administrative dues, professional development, technology. I mean, the list goes on. Right here in the red, this is optional. So this is your referral relationship expenses. And it's showing you that 55% of agents spend $50 to $100 a year on things like this. So it's pretty low. And if you take a quick second and think about your marketing budget, let's picture it like a big pizza. We're going to slice it into 8 slices. How many slices right now are you giving to your past clients and key relationships? And how many slices do you give away? Majority of agents out there are giving their entire pizza away to total strangers. Now, the end result and what we're preventing for you is you driving down the road, seeing a for sale sign on a past client's lawn or an SOI's lawn that's not yours. Maybe you log into the MLS one Sunday night, you see a prospect that you've been nurturing the last 3 to 6 months, end up listing with somebody else. Or maybe you got invited to an open house from a family member or friend that forgets you're a realtor. So these are all missed opportunities, folks. And that's what we're doing. That's what we do here at Reminder Media. We're going to help you stay connected to everybody on a personal level to drive repeat and referral business. Now, we've been doing it 16 years. We work with 50,000 agents nationwide. The tools that we do it with, I'll speak to you about today, are the American Lifestyle, Start Healthy, and Good to Be Home publications. Now, American Lifestyle is our flagship. So it's general interest. It's got leisure, art, travel, design, sports, and recipes. And then these other 2 are a little bit more specific. Start Healthy, general health and wellness. So there's mind and body. There's basic fitness and exercise in here. The recipes will all be healthy, per se, the name. But then I've seen articles throughout about detoxing your body, foods that'll boost your immunity, benefits of drinking a half a gallon of water a day, stuff like that. Now, this one is brand new. It's only about 7 weeks old. So this one is all more real estate content and home decor, like tips that'll increase the value of your home, how to stage your house when you're ready to sell it, how to be more efficient throughout the year on your utilities, the pros of doing preventative seasonal maintenance, all different stuff like that. Now, the neat thing about it, you can alternate between the 3 of them. So you always have options. To give you a visual perspective, if you haven't seen us before, if you're familiar with Architectural Digest or Southern Living, we look exactly like they do. It's a high gloss cover, 48 pages of full color, and it's got that nice thicker paper. Beautiful coffee table piece. Now, the unique component about it, we take care of the content. The covers and the tarot cards are completely yours. So front cover inside and out, the back cover inside and out, and the 2 tarot cards, you can customize them any way you like, all the way down to the individual client level if you choose. So I'm going to start with the front cover for you. Your picture, contact info, and logo are right here, top left-hand corner. It's going to say compliments of you. In my case, compliments of Chris Friel. Now, if you're a part of a team or if you have a team, we can fit team pictures here as well. And each edition, folks, there's about 10 to 15 different cover options to choose from. So I'll show you the holiday one that we have going on right now. This is the American Lifestyle. Start Healthy. And this is the Good to Be Home. Now, when there are new editions that come out, the covers change. There's different themes, holidays. It's always relevant to the time of the year that we're in as well. Okay, so you definitely have a wide variety to choose from. Now, if you look at the inside cover, again, your branding is here, picture, contact info, and logo. There's also a personalized letter that you could tailor to your clients. Now, there's 2 ways to do it. One, if you're a plug and play person like myself, we have pre-written letters. They're already drawn up for you. They're still personalized. They still say Dear Bill and Judy, now dear value client or resident, which I know we all hate. If you want to edit the letter to make it your own, add a few lines or a paragraph, you could do that. Now, option B, you can write the letter yourself. Say somebody had a birthday or a newborn baby, and you want to specifically address that just to them in their magazine to make them feel special. You could do that. It just comes down to how much time you want to put into it and the relationship you have with the people you're sending it to. So we do give you 2 tarot cards, and I call these the ultimate business card. So again, on one side, it's your branding, your picture, contact info, and your logo. On the other side, we have hundreds of subjects to choose from. I mean, we always default to the recipes. Everybody loves a new good recipe, especially around the holidays, right? But there's motivational quotes, there's trivia games, there's do-it-yourself projects for the home, health and fitness stuff. Anything you can think of, we have it in there. Now, if you want something custom on the back of the tarot card, just send it over to us and we could do that for you too. All right. Now, the back cover, it's another place you're going to brand yourself. We have many different template ads you could choose from in the interface that we give you. We can also do custom ads for you as well. And what a lot of agents do with their back cover is they put their listings and recently solds here. So anytime that you have a listing, if you want to feature it in the magazine, you could do that. Now, if there's no current listings that you have at the time, but maybe you want to showcase different houses you've been able to sell and find for people, you could also do your recently solds as well. Right. Another cool thing too with the back cover, folks, is you could sell it. Now, this is your magazine, you own it. So if you want to co-brand, team up with a lender, a builder, or any other affiliate in your area to offset your cost, you could also do that too. Now, marketing tools, right? There's a million different things out there you can do. And I'm sure you all get 50 calls a day. People try to sell you stuff, everything from lead generation all the way down to the helium for the balloons you're going to use for your open houses. So I broke this down into 2 sections for you. If you look here on the left, you're going to see dinners, bottles of wine, gift cards, and baskets. These are awesome closing gifts, but they're not cost effective. If we do this for each client and try to sustain it over a long period of time, we're going to end up working for free. Now, on the right, you're going to see the things that are very cost effective: the newsletters, flyers, emails. I don't want to beat this stuff up. I think doing something is better than not doing anything at all. But at the end of the day, you do want to maximize your shelf life in the home or business at all times. Think about yourself. Everybody here, you're all in sales, but you're still consumers. So you buy cars, you buy furniture, you buy jewelry. When you go into your mailbox and you flip through your mail, if somebody sends you a newsletter or a flyer, after you look at it, where does it typically end up? And if you're like me, it won't make it past the mailbox. Now, I call this stuff lottery marketing, because if the numbers don't match that day, for the most part, we're throwing out the tickets. So with us, we're perceived as a gift. It'll get you past the trash onto the coffee table. And it really serves as a constant visual reminder that you value your client's relationship. So I always say it's like a mini billboard in the home. Now, we usually trend on a 6 to 7 week shelf life. We always do surveys. The last survey we did was in the middle of COVID. So it was trending on a 4 back then. We have another one coming up, so I know it's picking up. This is going to keep you top of mind. It's going to make you look fabulous. And this gives you a reason to be proactive too, folks. This will give you that soft touch point that you can reach out to people and just check in with them, see how they're doing, see what they thought of the magazines. Maybe they tried some recipes and things that were in there, but feel comfortable at the end of the call. Remind them that you need and work off referrals. See who else they know that will love the magazine like they do, that you can introduce yourself to, that will be buying or selling in the upcoming markets. And they'll always want to give them to you. I mean, if you think about it, human nature as a whole, when you give somebody a gift that they like and appreciate, what do most people out there want to do? They want to reciprocate in some way, right? Give you something back. So that's one side. Another cool thing too, local businesses like your doctors, your dentists, hair salons, nail salons, barbershops, car dealerships. Leave them in there like a fishing line, and we're getting great testimonials from that as well. And then you can even use it for prospecting too. So whether you go out on a listing appointment, you do an open house, or if you just want to farm your neighborhood, we can do prospecting mags where you have like a bio letter about yourself in the front, throw some testimonials in the back, and send them and hand them out to prospects too, because it's always going to win over a business card and add validity to your brand. So with each batch, we can actually customize it multiple ways to hit different campaigns of your business as far as that goes. So it's not just like a one-trick pony. The next slide I have is going to be the incentives that we have going on for the holiday season. Before I get into the numbers, any questions on the concept as far as what we're doing to keep you in front of everybody, or anything about the magazines?
Sorry, just a quick question. How frequently are the magazines sent out? Like every month, every 2 weeks, 2 months?
Great question, Pollock. So this is so normally it is a bi-monthly rotation. There are 6 new editions per year, but if you thought 6 was too much, we have agents that do it quarterly, once a season. So you can kind of, tailor it that way. But there are 6 new editions that do come out a year. Every month is overkill. It's a waste of money. But where we found our sweet spot, where the agents get the most return on investment, was bi-monthly, which would be 6 times a year. But again, we have agents that are doing other stuff or budgets, different things that are going on with their business. So we even have a quarterly option as well if you wanted to do it quarterly too. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So
don't be shy, guys. This is the time to ask your questions. I know you guys have a lot of questions. Chris, sometimes they get shy and then they start asking all a bunch of questions.
It's all right. All right. Well, well, I think there's a,
we got a question for you, Chris. What's the cost? I guess that's probably what you're
that'll be the next slide. Yeah. So absolutely. So, yeah, the cost will be the next slide that I have going. So I'll move on into that. And then, like I said, at the end, if anybody thinks of any other questions, I'll definitely answer them too. So we can do that. So here's the thing, folks. Our main goal, we would love to earn your business long-term, right? We're very practical about this though. We know we have to prove to you it works first. So what we're doing for the holidays, and this is what I just started working with Bridget with, is we offer you a trial mailing to start. So if you like what you see, you could try it one time for the holidays. There's no commitment involved. Get it out, get it in your client's hands, get some feedback from them, see how well they like it. And if you want to continue past that first one, like the rest of the agents have, we would love it. But if you did it once and just thought, hey, this isn't my cup of tea, there's no hoops to jump through. We'll shut it right down for you. It's a one-time test drive. Before I get into the numbers, we have something new we just rolled out about 6 months ago. It's an AI program. It's called Targeted Follow-Up. What it does for you, it takes your entire database and it'll run it through all these predictive analytics, all the way down to what people have been clicking on and looking up on Facebook and Google. It knows if they went to any websites like realtor.com and Zillow, and then it scores and organizes it for you from first to last, telling you who the most prime targets that it thinks will buy or sell in the upcoming months. Since we rolled this out, it's been consistently operating on a 72% accuracy rate. So it's getting all of our agents in front of people at the right time that were actually clicking on stuff for themselves, family, or friends that the agents had no idea. So it's really been a game changer for everybody. Okay. Now, what you need to set up your account. We have a one-time exclusivity fee to get going. Now, normally, folks, it's $299. When we do these presentations, we knock $200 off. This is what I just did with Bridget on Friday as well. $99 to start. Now, this is a one-time fee. It is not a recurring charge. So it's not something you have to pay again. And what I mean by that is once you're with us, we don't care if you mail once or if you mail for 10 years with us. If you leave and then want to come back, you just jump back into the magazines and resume like you never left us. You wouldn't have to pay a startup again. This does go to multiple things. Now, first, it goes to your list. My favorite thing about us, we work off exclusivity. Anywhere that you're sending this, whether you're sending it to your clients' homes, or if you put it in your hair salon and barbershop or whatever businesses, you're going to own your names and addresses. So there's no other business professional that could jump on board and have your contacts on their list. We make them take them off. So this will differentiate you from everybody else out there as well. We'll never let anybody try to market and steal your clients through us. Okay. We do give you a generic social media library. In the interface that we're going to give you, there's a little library of content, recipes, different articles and stuff. You could share that to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you got. And then everybody gets their own marketing advisor. So they're going to be your assistant. They do all the work for you. They customize, they mail it out. Your only job, you have to get your photos, your list, and whatever you want in there over to them. But after that, you've got to spend about 15, 20 minutes on the phone. You're going to do the fun part, which is design the magazines. You pick covers, the recipes and designs, but they're going to do all the heavy lifting, the technical, and the mailing for you. Okay, so it's as turnkey as possible. And then price per magazine, it's $3.99. This includes everything too, folks. Your printing, your customization, and postage and handling. If you boil it down, it's cheaper than most Hallmark cards out there. And we only ask you for a minimum of 50. Which equals $199.50 for the magazines. You do not have to pay for this up front. When the magazines print and ship, that's when you'll pay for them. And you could pick your own deadline. We have a rolling deadline every single Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So everybody can work at their own pace. And it's usually about a 4-week turnaround from deadline to delivery. The only thing I will tell you with this holiday edition, I don't know if you've all caught the news and seen the forecast of the debacle that's going on with the post office and how it's supposedly getting, wow, it's going to get worse. We normally run our deadlines for the holiday edition up into the middle of November. But because of that, we want to guarantee, we have to guarantee delivery because nobody wants to get a holiday mag the first week in January. So we had cut a couple deadlines off. So the last deadlines will be like towards the end of October, like the week of like the 25th, 26th, and 27th. Okay. So that's the only thing that's changed this year. And then that's it, folks. There's no other fees. There are no hidden costs. If you want to continue past the first mailing, you're grandfathered into this price for good. And we do not nickel and dime you to death with changing fees. So if you change your magazines, customizations, list, photos, it's all included. Okay, so $99 to start. And then the only other time you would ever give us money is when you send the magazines out. And just like Pollock had asked before, we normally do it on that bi-monthly schedule, which would be 6 times a year. after the first mailing, but if you want to do it quarterly too, you're more than welcome for that as well. So either, whichever fits you best. All right. And then, like I said, trial, you get it out once, get a couple months to see how well it works. We follow up with you afterwards. If you like it, you can continue. And if not, we'll shut it right down for you. Okay. Any questions on the pricing as far as price per magazine, the one-time exclusivity fee, or how the trial works?
Quick question, sorry.
That's okay.
So it's $3.99 per magazine. So either we have the option of paying like per piece, or it's $199.50, right?
Well, so the minimum, Pollock, is 50. So if you times $3.99 by 50, it's
Okay.
190. Now it's 199.50. Everything over the minimum 50. Like if you want to go over 50, you don't have to do batches of 50 after that. You can actually increase by increments of 1. So if you need some kind of off number like 53 or 57, it would still just be $3.99 per anything over 50. Okay. Yes, you can just, so you can gradually add new clients on as you get them, which instead of having to do like batches of 50 where it's like, hey, I don't need this many. So you can just gradually increase after that.
And just to double check, like say,
Sure.
just like I just sent out like 2 magazines of I don't know, one kind, and then I want to switch to the other one. How frequently can I do that?
You can alternate as much as you like, right? So you can alternate them. So if you sent Good to Be Home the first time, next time you want to come back and send AL, American Lifestyle, you could do that. Something we're moving towards in 22, you'll be able to alternate within the mailing. So you might have 50 clients and you might want to send 15, say 15 people are into really working out and stuff like that. And you want to send the Start Healthy. The other 15 are always working on their house and you want to send Good to Be Home. So you'll be able to actually divvy the magazines up within the same mailing. We're not quite there yet. We're putting the infrastructure in place. So for the time being, it's just alternate mailings, each mailing, instead of having to be able to do it in the same magazine. But we are moving to that in 22 though.
Do I need to like call every time in order to do that?
Oh no, you could switch. You could switch within your CRM. Yeah, we give this really easy to CRM to navigate, and you can alternate between the magazines. Your marketing coach will always be there to help you as an assistant, but they do this little webinar with you that they show you all the ins and outs and how to switch between magazines, how to add a name and take a name off. So you don't have to call in every single time. But if you do, they're there for you to help you with whatever you need.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
We got a question in chat, Chris.
Sure.
How many go out for the trial? When does it get mailed out?
So the trial would be, you could do as many as you want for the one-time mailing. Again, you do pay these associated costs for it. We're only asking for the minimum 50. But if you want to do more than 50 for your first mailing over the, for the holidays, you can, but we're only asking a minimum 50. Now, the magazines themselves, it's like I said, there's about, for the holiday edition, so we can guarantee delivery because of the post office, what's going on right now. We had to cut 2 deadlines off. So we usually ran the deadlines all the way up. Your last deadline would be the second week in November, but we had to cut that off down to like the last week in October. So like the 25th, 26th, 27th, like that week would be the last deadline that we can guarantee delivery within the holidays. Now, some agents, depending on where you're at, might want to roll the dice and say, hey, if it hits, it hits, or they might want to do it. Maybe you want it to hit for the new year. You can always do that too. But if you're looking for it to hit between Thanksgiving and Christmas, the last deadline would be the week of the 25th.
All right.
Okay. So that would be, but
I
yeah,
have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't have very clear the part of, can you order magazines? It has to go only for mailing out, or you can get some yourself?
You can have, great question, Edith. So you can actually have them all, if you want them all sent to yourself too, you could do that. We have brand new agents that will just do a prospecting mag, have all of them sent to them, and then they hand them out as they see fit through listing appointments, open houses, meetings they do, events, whatever the case is. Or you can have a mixture of the two. Like you might want to send a portion of them out to specific clients and sphere, and then the rest of them just send to yourself to hand out. You could do a mixture, whatever you feel, you could do that.
So you can alternate. Okay, yeah, I was not clear about that part. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yeah, you could switch it up as much as you like.
Hi, Chris, I have a question. This is Ida.
Hey.
In regards to setting the account, do you have to set a direct payment withdrawal for this account? And if so, can you stop this service with any penalty? Can you clarify something about a little bit?
Yes, so you would put so the way that the billing works is you put a credit card on file with us. Well, we don't pre-charge it. Like the only time we charge it, like I said, is when the magazines go out. Now we normally, what I'm going to do, and this is what I was waiting for the webinar. I was talking with Bridget on Friday, but we normally have a contract like everybody else out there, where after the first mailing, we have like I said, it's a bi-monthly rotation. We normally do a 9-issue commitment, and there's a $450 cancellation fee if you go into the contract. What I'm going to do for everybody, if anybody wants to try this out, if you want to continue, I'm going to waive all the contract. So this way, if you do need to stop, you can actually stop on a dime and there's no cancellation fee. So I'm going to actually give you, anybody that tries this, that wants to continue, I'm going to give you no contract for life. So you'll be able to kind of mail on your own terms. And like I said, if you do need to stop Ida or pause it, you can do that. Okay. So I'm going to waive your service agreement for you. No problem. Okay. Great question. Any other questions? All right. So the one thing I will just want to leave you with, folks, I mean, one, we do have an 84% retention rate. So 8.4 agents out of 10 that try it with us will mail with us for years to come. So it's pretty good numbers there, right? And I'm never going to tell you anything that's going to make you $1 million overnight, but I'm a really firm believer. I think 50% of this business is just being in the right place at the right time, in people's homes, on their coffee table, or, say in the waiting room. Can't go wrong, right? It's always the right place. But when it does come to the right time, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know when they're going to need you, when they have family, friends, and neighbors that will need you. But if you constantly nurture these people throughout the year, give them something tangible that they'll actually keep and you could follow up with and check in with them about, when real estate comes up, they're never going to forget about you. Okay. So it's really just a vehicle into the home. And the one thing we always encourage everybody is make the follow-up calls when the magazine hits. We have agents out there, that we work with that just tell us like, hey, I'm not calling my clients. I refuse to. I don't want to follow up with them. I'm not going to do it. And the magazine still does work, but it takes a lot longer that way. All of our agents that are making the follow-up calls behind the magazine, just to have that small little conversation and ask for the referral at the end, are getting them immediately. So it works very well. And then that's all I got. So I'm going to stop sharing right now.
I have another question. This is Ida.
Sure. Hey.
What would you say, because due to the virus, offices have removed the magazines because that's a way to pass on viruses, right? Everybody touching it and so forth. Do you have this magazine to be sent electronically rather to the sphere of influence? And what would you say about people that say people are no longer reading magazine because everything is online? So what would you say about that? Thank you.
Well, I could tell you that, I mean, obviously it's up to businesses, it's up to them where they want to keep it in there as far as that goes. I personally, just from all the stuff that I do the research with and stuff, I don't see, I mean, I think they've debunked the thing about being able to just touch a magazine and catching anything like that. So again, that's personal belief and preference and all that stuff. I can tell you the last 2 years, we've had our record years, right? Because people are in the home more, they're not going out as much. They're making dinner at home. And where we personally, like I said, we did $50 million the last 2 years. So I can tell you what COVID has actually increased our revenue and our business for, on our side, as far as that goes. The other thing is, if the business, yeah, you're right. I know every area is different. So some businesses are allowing the magazines in there, some are not. I think being in Florida, you're pretty open there from everything that I've been seeing, but there's our places in California. I'm in Pennsylvania. So there's a lot more restrictions in some states than others. So again, that would come down to a specific area and the business itself. Now, the digital magazine, we have a digital version too. It's only 8 pages though. What the digital was created for was really just to go for the people that have an extra large database, the people that you don't want to spend as much money on, but you want to stay top of mind enough to capture a referral from them, instead of just sending a generic email. So this digital magazine, it goes out by text message, email, or social media. And it's only 8 pages though. It's got like 2 covers, 2 recipes, 2 articles. Very limited customization. You can tear a little letter to it, and that's it. You can track the metrics to it. So, you can see who opened it and, what they clicked on while they were looking at it. But for that part, where we've made our agents the most money is in the hard copy, because most people, if they have friends, family, colleagues over for the holidays and they start talking about real estate, it's a great conversation piece. People pick up the magazine. They're not going through the computer and say, hey, look at this email I got, or look at my Facebook post. So the magazine itself is giving you, one, it's more tangible in the home for when people come over to see on the coffee table. Two, it's giving the agent a better reason to call. Like if you called somebody and said, hey, what'd you think of my email? It's not going to go over as well as saying, hey, I just sent you this magazine to all my preferred clients. Wanted to make sure you got it. What'd you think of it? It gives you a reason to talk to them about. What I did, I was in the mortgage business for 12 years before I came here. So I had a branch of a bank in New Jersey called Atlantic Pacific Mortgage, and I got pushed out back in 2009 when the market collapsed. But I was using us back then. This was the staple of my marketing, and I had 4 LOs working for me that used it as well. So when I called people up and they got the thing, I would pick something in the magazine, like whether it's be a recipe or an article that I know that from talking to them, I know they'd be into, just to point it out, say, hey, did you make this? Did you see this blueberry pancake recipe? We just made it this weekend. You should try it, something like that. And it gives me a reason at the end of the call just to find out who else they know. So it's really hard to send something digital and then kind of go fishing for business, I guess you could say. So the return on investment, just from the data and all the testimonials we're getting, it's really more in the hard copy, where that digital stuff is just kind of an add-on for the people that you don't want to spend as much money on. If hopefully I'm answering that right for you. But so that's where I found out personally that worked for me. And not only that, for the testimonials that are coming in from the agents that we're working with. The magazine itself too, the hard copy, it gives you, like I said, for listing appointments, open houses, when you go on a listing presentation and you're meeting with these clients, it's a great first impression piece, because if you're competing with another agent for that transaction, it's going to win over a business card, adds validity to your brand, right? It's a lot of street credibility, and something you could tell them is, I always say, it's kind of like the ace in the hole. You could tell them, hey, one major way I'm going to market your house that these other agents can't, I'm going to feature it in my magazine and then blanket it out to the area. And who doesn't like their house featured in the magazine? So it's a great selling point too. So there's a lot more flexibility, impact, shelf life. And the other thing it does, it gives you a reason to call them up once every few months to check in with them and let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. So the data for the money is in the hard copy, but you can do that. You can add on the digital if you want. That digital magazine, for 1,000 of them, it's 30. As long as you're in program with the magazine, it's $39.99 for 1,000 digital magazines as well. Does that make sense? Did I answer that right for you, Ida? Hopefully. No.
Yeah, I think so. I don't
Yes,
know.
you did. You
Sorry,
did. Sorry, my battery is dying.
Sorry, just one more quick question.
Okay.
So if I'm not like, I don't have too many clients, and if I believe I won't be using like 50 magazines a year, is there a choice to either just do $3.99 per magazine or the 50?
Well, the $3.99 is per magazine. So it is $3 a piece. So if you just did, say you wanted to do 50, like what I'm giving you is with the no contracts, you don't have to do it consistently. So each batch, if you just did 50 magazines and you want to hand them out, most of them, except for unless you do a themed edition, like the holiday one, or in October, we did a breast cancer awareness issue, a pink edition. But the rest of the editions throughout the year, you can have just generic seasonal covers. That's just for the time. So most of our brand new agents, what they'll do is pick a generic cover, send them to themselves, and then they hand them out over the next couple months. Because most magazines are dated. They're going to say like, they'll say September, October, November. Our issues are all numbered. And because the articles are general interest, except for the special themed ones, the expiration is as long as you and the person you give it to want it to be. So for the ones that you're going to send to yourself, you don't have to hand them out in 30 days or they're old. You can actually hold on to them and strategically hand them out over a 2-3 month span and make them count for the people you want to give them to.
Okay, but the $199.50, say I don't use like the whole 50 for the first year, then does that, the value expires, or is it, so it's, how is it built? It's once I
You
run
have
out
to-
of 50, I'm doing 199, or is it every year?
No. So no, it's 50 magazines per mailing. So when you're creating the
Oh.
magazines and you're going to print up 50 magazines that'll be sent out to specific individuals. And then the ones that you want sent to yourself will be sent to you as well. So it'd be $199.50 per mailing. And then when you want to do it again, each time you want to do it, it'd be $199.50 for the 50 magazines. Does that make sense? So it's not like you can, if you're doing 50, it's not like you're going to do 10 at once and then 3 months later do another 10 and then something like, you can't space the 50 out over the year. It's 50 per mailing as far as that goes. Now, here's the thing too, with the first mailing, if you do 50, after the first mailing, if you felt like 50 is too much, we can, case by case, we can lower your minimums too. We've lowered people's minimums to 35 as well. So if you did 50 for the first time, and then you found out like, hey, this is just too much, but I do want to do it again, but I really don't need the 50, we can lower your minimum to like 35 if you needed to too, after the first one.
Exactly. That was my question, because I'm newer. I don't have
Okay.
too many clients, so I probably won't be like doing 50 per mailing. It might be a
Yeah,
bit
if
too
you,
much.
I understand that.
True.
Yeah. So if you did 50 for the first one for the holidays, but then like I said, you wanted to do it again for the spring market and you're like, hey, I don't need 50. Can I just lower my minimum to 35? I can definitely, we can do that for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Chris, we have a question on chat. So
Okay.
from Natalie. So you can get 1,000 digital magazines for $39.99. Realizing it with a question mark. Realizing it is only 8 pages, but how many pages are branded with our name, and is there an intro letter?
There is an intro letter. So you're going to be on the covers and that's it. There is an intro letter, but that's the level of customization. So as far as that goes.
But okay, but the actual magazine is the exact same one that we got in print. It's just digital.
No, it'll be the digital because it changes every month. There'll be a couple different articles and stuff like that. It's not the exact same print one. So it's different. Here's the thing too about that digital, just to kind of add on to that. We actually have a bundle for the digital version. There's 3 parts to this bundle if you want to add it on. The first part was the magazine that I just talked about. And then the second part to that bundle, it's called a local events email, which means the same 1,000 people that would get the magazine, they're going to get email twice during the month. One will be for the first 2 weeks. Another one is for the last 2 weeks. When they open up that email, it's going to act like a calendar. For each day, all the hot local events that are going on in the area will be listed with the description of the event, the time of the event, and at the bottom of every event is your customized branding, picture, contact info, and logo. So you also get 1,000 of those. And then the third part to that bundle, where I talked right here in the social media library, is just we give you a little generic library. There's a premium side to that bundle in the library. So that content opens up to 15 years worth of content. You can share all of it, like I said, to your social media pages. But every time that you share something, we're going to customize and brand all your posts with your pictures, contact info, and logo as well. So you have that. And then also that the social media part, we can automate it for you where we could pre-schedule the stuff out daily, weekly, or monthly, so you don't have to worry about it. So any of those by themselves are $39.99 if you're in program with the magazine. Doesn't matter how many times you're doing the magazine a year, just as long as you're in program. If you want to bundle all 3 of them together, it kind of acts like Netflix or a Hulu subscription. It's $59.99 a month. There's no contract with it, so you can add it on and cancel it at any time. But for all 3 together, it would be $59.99 for all 3. Okay. But yes, the digital version is very, very limited as far as customization. You can tailor the front letter to it. You'll be on the cover, and then it's just like I said, a couple recipes, articles, stuff like that. Very generic, it's very nice. But it's not nowhere near to what the hard copy is. Any other questions?
How much time does the activation fee cover? Sonia, he already answered that. It's forever.
Forever. So once you pay it once, you'll never pay it again. We don't care if you just mail once a year for the holidays with us. Say you mail with us for 5 years straight, and then you take a break for a year. Anytime you jump back in, you just jump back into the magazines and resume like you never left us. I wouldn't charge you this again. So it's a one-time fee that covers you for life.
All right.
Okay. Great questions. Any other questions?
All right, guys. I don't push things on you guys that I don't think would work well for you. This is working well for about 6 of our agents. And I read to you guys that were here on time. I read to you what Angie Alstott had written. You guys know her from either in person or from these meetings, about how well it's working for her. Gives her an excuse to reach out to people. She sends it to, I don't want to misquote her here, so let me find her email again. She sends it to her past clients, which I think is the best use for it. She sends it every month. I send it to past clients and my sphere, and then next time to potential seller leads in my farm/neighborhood. Gives me a good reason to call and touch base and ask for referrals. She just started the digital edition, so she doesn't have feedback yet on that. But Mandy, who's I think is in the chat, I'm not sure. She's been doing the digital for a little bit. So we have things that are working for people, guys, and that's what we want. And I've seen these magazines. I've seen Angie's, and I've seen a few other people's magazines, and they look really good, look really sharp. And you guys have got to stay. Part of what we teach you guys to do with your part of the commission that we don't take is to follow up with your past clients. That's so important. You know, I always share with you guys that statistic that less than 30% of buyers 3 years after buying can remember their agent's name, which is just ridiculous. Less than 30% remembered you 3 years after buying. And that is embarrassing. And that is how you let, a lot of that's because we have a lot of turnover in the industry, but a lot of it also is because you guys don't follow up. It's the cheapest, it's 10 times cheaper to keep a client than to find a new one. So you guys really need to focus on the follow-up. And that's my
I have another question.
Go ahead, Ida.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Do you have this electronic or the paper version in another language?
We are moving to that, but because the way the printers are set up, we don't have enough to warrant to print the whole magazine in Spanish or in any other language. What you could do though, we are moving to that as well. But it's, again, we just don't have, again, enough in place to be able to do it consistently. So for the time being, you could put your customizations like in Spanish. So if you want to write your letter or whatever you want, you can put the customizations in Spanish, but the articles, right now, we would not be able to do that yet. But like I said, your letter and whatever customizations you want to put in there, they can absolutely be in Spanish if you want.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
And I know you guys had asked about doctor's offices and things like that. I think this is, I think you want to send out, if you get 50 or if you get 100, I think you want to send out probably 80% of them and keep the rest a handout. But I think these are better on in people's homes. I think that's where they get it. And I prefer the American Lifestyle one because I think that people like to look at that kind of stuff and see what they want to do to their house, or whether they just bought it, or whether they're looking to sell, or they see stuff that they can't do to their house and they'd like to get another house where they could do that. You know, so that's my favorite, but that's just my personal opinion. Chris, I appreciate. I'll let you finish whatever you're doing.
Okay.
And
so I'll stop sharing now. What I'm going to do for everybody is I'm going to give everybody my cell phone number.
Next week, Unfiltered, 10 p.m. on Fox.
Can't hear that.
Chris, one more question.
Sure.
Ada here. Can I pay the activation fee now and then just do the mailing out beginning of November? I'm waiting
of course.
to close on 2 properties, and then I can just
absolutely
showcase those properties on.
Of course, yeah. So we can even absolutely. So we have a because if you're going to do it in November, that probably won't get there by Christmas instead of taking a chance. But we actually have New Year's covers. So you can actually make it hit for, like, you can do a New Year's thing or make it hit for, so we can make it hit whenever you want. So that's not a problem at all.
Censorship, so we can stop the competition from being.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right. What I'm going to do too, folks.
That's more like for the holiday. Yes, that'll be perfect.
Yeah, we can do it however you like. Absolutely. But yeah, you can do the active, like anybody that signs up with the activation, we work at your pace. So you can pick your deadline when they go out. We'll give you deadlines every week, and then we'll give you the mail dates attached to that deadline, and you can kind of pick which one fits your best. But we don't rush you, so you can work at your own pace as far as that goes. Okay.
China's been sending flights.
Okay,
But
one more
also-
question. Do you
Sure.
have for the list of contacts, do I have a certain format, like on an Excel spreadsheet for to send my contacts?
Yeah, so you could do an Excel Word doc. In your interface, you can upload it yourself. So the agents that are tech savvy and want to upload it themselves with it, we'll always create a CSV file for you
Are they going to march on Taiwan soon?
but if you, we have agents that aren't
aren't
tech savvy or don't want to deal with it, you can send it over to your marketing coach and they do it for you.
Okay. All right. Yes, that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Great questions. Any other questions, folks? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my number in the chat. I'm also going to give it to everybody now too. And this way, if you have any questions or you want to talk a little bit more offline, you can definitely give me a buzz. My cell phone number is 267-449-5281. So 267-449-5281. And then I want to do something special for everybody. Being one of the trainers here, I do not get to call up and follow up with everybody in the office like a lot of the other our sales execs that do the webinars. But I like to reward action takers, and I would love to gain some more traction in the office. If anybody is interested in trying this just for the holidays, if you want to let me know now, or you can I'll stick around for a couple minutes. You can message me in the chat. I'm going to give anybody that wants to try this, I'm going to give them 15 free magazines. So I'm going to take care of the first 15 magazines for you towards your mailing when they go out. Okay. So it's a $60 credit on me when the magazines go out. So if you only did the 50 instead of $199, you'll only pay $139. Or if you want to do more than 50, like I said, however many you end up doing, I'm going to take care of the first 15 on me. Okay. So I'm going to put my number in the chat. There we go. For everybody. And then that is all I have, folks.
Chris, you got some interested people in the chat, and would you mind making me the host again, please?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I would not
Thank
forget
you.
that one. Sorry.
When you do log off, I don't want to lose all my wonderful
That's
people.
fine. Yeah, I'm going to make you a host. And if it's all right with you, I'll stick around for a couple of minutes in case people want to, message me or whatever.
Sure,
And,
absolutely.
all right, let me do this. Oh. Make host. Okay. It should be there.
Okay, yep. I'm the host
All
now.
right, perfect. All
Good
right.
afternoon,
So
everybody.
any other questions, folks? Anything else I can answer for anybody or?
If you guys who are interested in writing that stuff down in the chat, yes, I want to try it, please put your information in there too, please, for Chris, make it easier.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down and then I can follow. I know you have it in, you have to get to the rest of the meeting, but I'll write everybody's name and number down. And then if it's okay with everybody, I'll follow up with everybody like later on today. And just that way I can get everything rolling for you.
You guys can private message Chris if you want. You guys know how to do that on chat. You can send it to him directly.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll hang around for 5 minutes if that's okay with you, Ryan. You know what I mean? This way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that concludes our reminder media part, unless you guys want to talk to Chris on chat, or you can call him on his phone. So, wow, there's a lot of you guys, like 6 of you want to try it. Good for you. I'd love to see you guys growing your business. So you guys, what kind of questions do we have for FRI? Let's do open forum portion of this.
Ryan, me.
Yes, Ada, how are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm waiting for you to reply. How do I do the commission disbursement? I'm sorry. I need a form.
5, 6, 7 weeks ago.
Ada?
I'm sorry. I was not there. You got my email.
168 hours ago, we discussed this in this very chat. Go on to paperless pipeline. Go on to paperless pipeline under office forms. You'll find commission disbursement request form. You fill that out and you upload it to the file on paperless pipeline.
Okay, I don't send it to the title though. I just upload it there.
No. The company sends it to title. That's a request form you're requesting from the company, from us.
Gotcha. Yeah,
from our office
I saw the
staff.
form. I was not clear about what to do with it. Okay.
Yeah, you
Great,
upload
thank
it to the thing, and then our staff makes sure all the paperwork is there. Then they will send it off to title.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ada. Okay, any other questions?
Ryan, I have a question. I'm
Hi,
listing.
Samantha.
Hi, how are you? You didn't return my call. I was listing a house in Dr. Phillips. It's with Meritage Homes. It's built in 2013. And at one point, the house had a leak in the corner, which was from the bottom of the house, and Meritage fixed it. So do I, when I'm selling this, does there have to be disclosure? There's no issues with it, nothing. Meritage came and fixed it. It's a new community parkside place.
I would go ahead and disclose it, yes, and put that it's fixed.
Okay, so
Guys, over disclose. If you know something, disclose it. I mean, it's, if the seller hadn't told you about it, you'd never know, and nobody would ever know, but they did. So you know, so disclose it. And it doesn't matter whether it's been fixed or it hasn't been fixed or whatever. There was a problem of material relevance. A leak is of material relevance, right? Disclose it.
okay, the builder fixed it though.
And I know if I buy a house that was built in 2013, it probably has had a problem with it, and I'm glad it's been fixed. But nothing's perfect, right?
Okay.
So it's had a problem. It's been fixed. I still want to buy the house. Not that that's even relevant. Even if it were something terrible that would make me not want to buy the house, you still have to disclose it. So disclose it, whether it's been fixed or not. Disclose it, and disclose the current state of it. And of course, I'm going to get an inspection, and I'm going to tell my inspector, hey, take a look at that southwest corner real good for me, right? That's why you disclose it.
Okay.
Ryan,
Oh,
I have a
Yes,
question.
Rashu.
Yes. So Ryan, what platform do you use to write the contracts?
Personally, I use Transaction Desk. You guys can use Form Simplicity or Transaction Desk.
So I have a question regarding that. I also use the transaction desk. Ryan, how to insert the automatic signatures at the buyer's initial and the sellers? I'm having a hard trouble doing that.
Well, they're not automatic. You use Authentisign is the best way to do it. Who is talking? Authentisign is the best way to do it. And it comes with your MLS for $45 a year. It says 69, so it's on sale for 45. Right.
Next to that, I have the same thing, but initially when I used to write the contract, when I enter the contacts in the starting steps of the preparing an offer, so it used to add it themselves. It was automatically placed where the buyers has to initial or the sign. But now on the 12 pages of the contract and the additional seller's disclosure, I have to place it myself. Initially, the signing block and the initial block was placed itself where the buyers should supposed to be signing. Is there a way to do it?
It's probably a setting that you have. You probably ignored the prior field.
I'm sorry to hop in. I sort of know like a small hack. You just delete the form and re-upload it, and it should fix that. That's how I learned it does it by itself. Sometimes it takes off usually it does it manually, but sometimes it doesn't. So I just delete the form and then re-upload it for signatures.
Oh, so you, whatever form that I have stored, I just delete that one and re-upload?
No, delete that one from the signing and then re-upload it. Don't delete the form from the main folder. Just delete it from the signing and then re-upload it in the signing session, and hopefully it should fix it.
Oh, thanks, Palak.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody else have input on that? Because I think that might be a setting, or like Palak is saying, it might be just the way that it downloaded, and you might just need to re-download it. But does anybody have any input on that, or why that would be? I think it's probably a setting that you may have clicked on, or try re-uploading it and see what happens. But honestly, it's really not that much work to drag the fields down there. But
I know, but still it will save some time. Initially it used to happen. The spots were they were already they were placed themselves, and then I have to place it every place myself.
You know what, Rashu, I'm going to give you guys a brief history lesson. We used to use one of these, and we used to have to write everything on the contract, and then we had to get in our car and drive to our client and have them sign it and initial all the bottom things. It was crazy. And we'd have to put little post-it notes where they had to sign and stuff. I know. Unbelievable.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, and guess what? Our commissions were a lot smaller because the houses were a lot cheaper. And there were no transaction fees. It's crazy. And your broker kept half. So life is good. We'll be all right. Drag those signatures if you need to. Any other questions or comments?
I have just one question with regards to the commission disbursement form. Do I need to upload it? Like, it's my first time, that's why I'm asking it. Does it need to be uploaded like a minimum 2 days in advance or exactly 2 days in advance? Because I'm not sure.
Ideally, the only reason we say 2 days is because that's a reasonable amount of time for our staff to turn it around and to ask you for any documents that you might not know are missing, and that give you time to turn them in. If you do it more than a week in advance, guys, those of you who have done a lot of business can nod your heads on this if you're on the camera, but things changed, commissions change, things change between 10 days before a transaction and the actual closing. You guys have bought washers and dryers. You guys have had clients make adjustments to the purchase price or to commission, or given a little bit or taken a little bit or done whatever. So a lot of times they just have to be, just for efficiency's sake, they have to be redone. And also, it's just a little early. Plus, title people lose them. Guys, title people don't care that much about your CDAs. It's just extra work for them. So a lot of times they'll say they've lost them or they never got them. And when we send them too early, that happens.
Okay.
So
If
it's just efficient. It's just for efficiency.
Okay.
But please don't send us one right now and say my closing's at noon. It's 11:30. Can you do this for me?
Okay, I have 2 buyers who requested rebates and I've done it for them. When should I be requesting the forms? Ideally, from the brokerage for the credit for the buyer's
seller credit. Those requests as soon as you know. It's a commission contribution letter that we write. It has to be done individually for that deal. It takes a little bit of work. So send it to sales@flarealtyinvestments.com. Kayla will get it and write the letter for you. The broker signs it and we send it in. And that's where they give them the seller credit on the HUD or the buyer credit on the HUD.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. HUD is the settlement statement for those of you who are younger.
Take away your.
I have a question.
Yes,
right? I have full of questions today. Mostly for other agents. I have 2 buyers from out of state, and they obviously they have the contingency of selling their home over there before we can buy. I'm trying to advise them the best way, obviously, selling your home first so we can even start looking. They already got pre-approved. So anybody is winning any offers with that kind of contingency, or should I just wait for them to sell the home before we even start looking?
Anybody have any input on that? I mean, you can try now. If the price is right, they'll get it a lot of times. But Natalie says she would wait.
Yeah.
A lot of people would wait. I'm sure you're going to end up paying extra somehow in this market. If they can afford to wait,
right,
then they probably should. I mean, can they pay cash when they wait?
No. Well, this one buyer from New York, she's putting her home in the market next week. So hopefully it will sell quick. Or we'll see, what kind of contract she's gonna get, and then they're gonna put like 50% down. So.
Okay, well that's a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's so strong. That's what I'm thinking. Being that strong.
Yeah, people don't like in this market. People don't have to accept, people don't have to accept the sale of buyer's property addendums.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Malvis? Anything?
Ryan, I have a quick question.
Okay, Joy.
Do you have any suggestion for a transaction coordinator?
Yes, I do, and I can send that to you. Abby, have we put that on our preferred vendors list? We haven't put anybody there?
We have not.
Okay, we're going to add some of those. We need to add some of those. I've got a couple of them for you, Joy.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and email me, please, and I'll send them to you.
Will do. Thank you.
You bet. Daryl, do you want a few minutes to talk about anything going on? No? All right.
I'm glad you asked. I had to push my unmute button real quick. I was like, unmute. Yes, actually, just something to share with everyone that happened to me yesterday. I got a call from another agent on a condo unit that's not even listed. I canceled it, what, about 6 months ago because it wasn't selling. It was on the market for probably 6 months, but they had litigation in the building and there was conflicts and it just wasn't turning out to be a good. So I canceled the listing agreement, took it off the market, and it's been off the market now for a good 4 to 5, probably 6 months now. Well, I got a call last night from the agent and he goes, "Hey, by the way, I have a buyer interested in your unit that you had canceled 6 months ago. Is it possibly still for sale?" And I said, "Actually, it is." So I got a hold of the seller that I've known for years, and he's thrilled, and we're putting the contract together today. So that just taught me, it taught myself actually, if I have buyers looking at a certain neighborhood or a certain complex, or that I can't find any active listings at, go back through the cancellations if there are any, or the withdrawals if there are any. Do a little bit of homework back in the back end, and it might just pay off. So I wanted to share that with everybody. It really impressed me that that agent did that. He actually took the time, went back, saw my cancellation, called me, and here we're putting a deal together right around 300,000. So wanted to share it with everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, thank you very much. You're going to have a regular segment on our show, so come up with something every week, please. I appreciate it. Daryl's Den. All right. Do we have anybody else with any questions or comments? Anything they'd like to share? No.
I have a question, Ryan, real quick.
Yes.
Of course. Would a house qualify for FHA loan if there has been a wall that has been enclosed? So the house has already a like a office with the house roof and everything originally, but that office had like the 2 walls and it was kind of open, and what they did is they closed that wall and they put a window. But they didn't do permits or anything. Would that be a problem with FHA? I mean, there was nothing that was added. It was, well, the roof was already there. Everything was already there as part of the house. It was just the wall that they closed.
What did they do? What was the purpose of this? Did they change the amounts of bedrooms or?
No, it's not even a bedroom. It's just it's an extra. It's like an office type of space, but it was already there because the roof of the house goes all the way through that little office. It was just that there was a sliding door there, and they closed it and put a window. That's all.
I don't know that would show up on any kind of FHA inspection at all.
It would not.
I don't think so. I don't know for sure, but I don't think so. It's worth a shot. I don't think that changes anything. I don't know, unless someone has the original floor plan with, I don't think that changed anything.
Because
it didn't materially change the
when
number of bedrooms
when they
or
bought the
bathrooms or
house. No, it
Yeah,
didn't change any.
Nobody knows what it looked like when they bought the house. If they didn't change anything.
When they bought the house, it was already there. But it wasn't done with purpose. So they changed lenders at the time. And I can't remember with the previous lender, it kind of, I don't know, the association, the previous owner requested permission from the association. They got it, but it never made it to the county or something like that. But it's not that they added the walls to the house, because the house already has, the roof of the house is already extended into that area.
Okay, did they buy the house FHA?
They bought it conventional.
Okay. Yeah, I would give it, I'd give it a try with FHA. I don't think it materially changed anything. I don't think anybody will even be the wiser about it. I mean, the inspector may see that they changed the wall, but that's not gonna, I don't think that's even gonna affect anything.
As
I'll
long
get
as
them
the
on.
floor has some type of covering. I know FHA looks at that. Is it a concrete floor or carpet or tile or?
It has tile.
Yeah,
I think you should be good, yeah.
they didn't change anything materially. Okay, I want to discuss something that's been going on. It's been the bane of my existence since last Thursday. MLS has been moving some of you guys randomly. Some board, one of our 26 boards that we belong to, started a new brokerage number for us in the MLS office ID. Some of you, I see Joanne is here. She's the one that asked the question on here. I don't see anybody else here that's been affected. It's affected about 25 of you guys. Have been transferred to another office and then transferred back. It is a computer glitch of some type because someone started a new brokerage office ID for us. So when you got moved, they moved all your transaction desk files. I moved them all back. I don't know what exactly is going on with them. It was a painstaking process and it's been ongoing. And 2 more people got moved overnight last night. They've already been moved back and had their files restored. So this is something that I'm working on and trying to get it done with the, I'm getting farther and farther up the ladder at MLS with the tech people to try to figure this out. So we're working on it. It's an MLS glitch. It's not anything we're doing. Nobody's transferring your office or firing you or anything else. We're just, it's showing you that you've been transferred office, but you really haven't. It's happened at 5:30 in the morning. So you guys are waking up to those emails. So I just want to, in advance, let you know not to panic. Nobody's doing, when they transfer your files, they're transferring it to an office account. So nobody's got access to your files that didn't have access to them before. I could go in and look at all of your transaction desk files right now if I wanted to. I do not want to. Nobody wants to. So they're not going out into the ether. Nobody is looking at personal info that couldn't look at it before if they wanted to. All of that stuff, as you know, when you do business, it all belongs to the brokerage anyway. We don't care. We're not checking out your files. So just want to let you know that's going on in case it affects anybody here. I don't know that it's a FRI specific thing. There's probably a lot of, a company is only as good as its weakest link. And so if somebody's out there doesn't know what they're doing, then everything gets messed up. So
I have a quick question. Sorry.
Yes.
I was at D.R. Horton's office, like signing the contract with buyers, and the sales consultant mentioned that they have the main office address, the Orlando one, in their system, and then I have listed the local Tampa office address on my business card. So he's like, you want to make sure that you get the address correct. And I wasn't sure, so I just asked him to go with like the main office address. But does it really matter which address?
It does if you want to get paid quickly, because they're going to send that check to whatever office they have on the title thing there. I would use the Orlando office. The reason you would use the Tampa office for your marketing and stuff like that is so people know you're local there in Tampa and you can help them there. But for anything that any of the official purposes, it's best to use the corporate office in Orlando because that's where the money goes. That's where the money comes from. And that's where the processing takes place. And that's where you want to get that check as quickly as possible if you want your money quickly.
If I get the check in my hands, like, do I like have to mail it or drop it off? I'm yet to get a closing one.
Well, you shouldn't get it in your hands if it's for the brokerage. They should mail it directly to us. But if they do put it in your hands, then please mail it to us. You don't need to drive from Tampa to the headquarters to drop it off. You can just mail it to us.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. And if you guys ever want your checks overnighted or something like that, because you get a lot of these new home builders or a lot of people, a lot of luxury homes, your seller has their own lawyer they like to work with, and they don't do a lot of title business, but they can do title, and or new home builders who don't care about you guys right now will not do the CDAs, will not honor them. You'll have some people who won't do that. In that case, that's when they need to come to the office and get turned around for you. Okay, but please give them our corporate office for any kind of checks, even if they're handing you your check and mailing us ours. Please be sure to use the corporate office so we actually get the transaction fee and can close it out. Any other questions on that or anything?
Okay, I have a question, Ryan. I have somebody who's recommended a client to me, and he's going under contract for a waterfront property. and he does not want a kickback, but his relative who's recommended to me, the client, wants a kickback. How do I solve that?
Well, first thing we don't say is kickback. Second
Okay, what do
thing
we say?
is they want a referral. So
Okay,
second
referral.
thing is his friend or whatever, relative or whatever, a licensed realtor?
No,
Or
no,
real estate agent?
no,
Well, then you
no.
can't do it.
Okay, okay.
You
The
cannot.
only people you can give is to the person himself, right?
Correct. You could give,
Okay.
correct. You can credit your client or any party
Okay.
to the transaction. You can even credit the other client, any party to that transaction. Okay.
Okay,
And it's
just
not
to the,
you, Sunina,
yeah.
it's a brokerage. Like I just talked about, everything you do business, you're an agent of a brokerage, whether it's our brokerage or any brokerage, you're an agent
Okay.
of the brokerage. We can pay our agents, obviously, that's how we pay you guys. We can pay any other brokerage. Okay. And we can pay any party to a transaction. It has to be to that transaction. Okay.
Okay.
So we cannot pay somebody's lawn guy for telling us about him. Now, if you want to, buy that guy a nice lawnmower for Christmas or something, that's between you and him. But that's not something we do as a brokerage. And so that's something you would handle. But yes, you can credit back the actual client.
Okay.
And we
Another
don't,
question.
and we never say kickback.
Okay, never. Next time, never.
Okay.
The other question I had is this house that I have in Dr. Phillips that I'm listing. I don't do that much residential. So a quick question. I'm trying to get soft staging done because they've literally painted, carpeted, everything is new. And they just want no furniture coming in. So I'm doing soft staging with the market that's so hot. Do you think it's important to do the soft staging or there's no need?
What kind of house is it? How much?
It's 800,000.
I would probably do some kind of virtual staging or something. If you want, I don't even know that you have to, but for that price range, I would do all out. I would go all out for my reputation as a realtor.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, from me.
There's a house that my client is interested in buying, and the house is 4 months old. So the taxes are not showing like properly the total amount. How can I find out the exact amount or very close amount of taxes for that property?
I would find a house that has been sold recently that would assess for about the same amount in the same millage area, meaning in the same jurisdiction. So you can find, so how your taxes are based on is your assessed amount and your millage rates, right? So your millage rates, my millage rate is going to be the same as my neighbors or anyone else in my same jurisdiction, meaning my same city, or if I'm in an unincorporated county in the county, because we're going to have very similar, we're going to have the same, if we're in the same jurisdiction, we're going to have the same tax rates. And then you go on assessed value. Assessed value is typically around 70% of the sales value or the actual value. So establish those two things and then figure that out. So find a house that recently sold for the same amount last year, but you can't guarantee these things at all.
Yeah.
Talk to the lender and see what they would withhold for taxes. For escrow for taxes, because they're going to have a projection, a way to project those rates.
Okay.
But that's what I would do if I were going to give you a rough estimate. If you were my sister and you were trying to buy a house and you said, what do you think my taxes will be? I would find someone who sold recently for this about the same amount and see what their taxes are. Make sure they've been adjusted. So if you're selling a house for 600,000 and the house down the street sold for 600,000 last November, if their taxes haven't jumped up yet, then it hasn't been assessed properly yet. If it hasn't been reassessed, you can see the assessed amount. You can see what their previous taxes were. So make sure it's jumped up significantly. If it originally sold for 400, then it sold for 600, or you know what I mean. So just make sure you're looking at apples to apples, and that they're just because something sold in April of this year, their taxes haven't been adjusted yet because it hasn't even been a tax year to assess it yet.
Okay. Thank you.
But also make sure the property that Ryan's referring to that sold recently, you want to check and see. You can go online and check neighboring properties and see if it's homesteaded or not as well. That can be a big difference.
Okay, thank you.
Sunina, Natalie said very correctly, photographers will virtual stage if they're a professional company. A lot of photographers will do the virtual staging, staging companies will do the virtual staging. And you do have to be sure to put on your photos in the listing, if you have virtual staging, that it is virtual staging.
Yeah, Ryan, actually somebody suggested that to me and I thought that was deception. So I'm just going to get soft staging then.
Oh, what is
No,
soft
it's
staging?
like, you're putting all this thing, furniture. I know what virtual thing is, but then you're overdoing it and it's not really in the house. So I'm just going to go ahead and do soft staging.
Okay.
So the
Right.
other thing is lockbox is suggested for this, if it's 800,000 or
A
no?
lockbox?
Yeah.
As opposed to what? Just not letting people in at all unless you meet them there?
No, yeah, with appointment only or I was thinking of getting the electronic, and then a lot of realtors don't have electronic. So what do you suggest? Should I just put electronic Supra only or?
I would do the electronic or appointment only, whatever works best for you. I mean, I know you
Okay.
live down in Dr. Phillips, so
Yeah. The house is 10 minutes away, but I will be traveling for like 5 days. So I was thinking I'll get lockbox anyway. So when I'm here, I can, show it to do
do
the
it.
appointment. Okay.
Yep, do that.
And the contract that I want to see from these people is as is FAR bar contract, right? I want to write that on the instrument.
That's what I always recommend. Yeah.
Okay, FAR bar as is. Okay. Thank you,
Yep.
Ryan.
You bet.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments? All right, guys. Well, it's been a wonderful, wonderful meeting. Melvin's got her question in. Daryl's in. Everything worked out great. I appreciate you all coming. Good to see everybody and keep up the great work. You guys were awesome in September. October's already off to a great start, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. We'll have something fantastic for you again. I appreciate it, and take care, guys.